Hello, I'm PDYX.
And I'm Ant Keeps Gaming, and welcome to Playing It Wrong, the show where we play random online Nintendo games and talk about them.
That's right, each episode we're going to take one random NES game and one random SNES game from the games available on the NSO service on the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to play them for at least 30 minutes each and talk about our opinions of those games.
Playing It Wrong, episode 16.
All right, we're back with episode 16, and this week for the NES we played Super Mario Bros. 2, and for the SNES we played Tuff Enough. Hey punk, are you tough enough? Also known as Dead Dance, apparently, in Japan.
I've just had enough.
Yeah. So, interesting because we played Super Mario All-Stars last week, and then Super Mario Brothers. I jinxed it because I even said it last week, if you haven't heard. But thankfully, we didn't talk a lot about the gameplay of any of the specific games in Super Mario All-Stars. So we can explore that a little bit more this week. But before we talk about each game, just sort of general week, what did you think of these games as a pair?
I think just okay, if you just want a good time. It's not like good, but just okay.
Yeah.
And just to say this, we haven't had a bad week yet. Touch wood. I don't want to jinx it by the two new games we get next.
You just jinxed it.
Yeah, I'll probably jinx it now.
We'll see. That's a fair point. You know, there's been an okay game most weeks, I guess, so far in the second season. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's not been really any bad, like, two games we've had in 1 week. So it's been like a really bad week. Yeah. And you kind of notice it as well, because when we first start these episodes, I kind of just like go, like laugh and to myself like an idiot, because I know it's going to be like, you know, bad opinions all around. That's how you know.
For me, this week, I really love Super Mario Brothers 2, and I didn't really hate Tuff Enough, but it definitely is a bland Street Fighter clone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's sort of a game I think everybody should check out, and then a game I think probably you should skip. So I don't know if that combines too, but we'll talk more about that later. Let's start with Super Mario Brothers 2. I know you probably played at least a little bit of it for our last week on the All-Stars collection. What did you think of it with the downgraded graphics?
Well, because as said, we played the collection last week and we didn't go deep dive into it. I thought it'd be good to deep dive into it, and going backwards is a bit weird after that. But if you think about it, the weeks when we've played these games, we've had like the sequel first and then like the prequel afterwards. Mm-hmm. So we had like Kirby 2, and then was it another week we had like just Kirby 1 or Kirby's Adventure or whatever the Kirby games are called. But yeah, it's very interesting with like the health system with this. A bit confusing in some parts because you get like this potion. I better tell you actually how far I got. I got to where you get in this cave. Pretty much got the same bit on there when I played the collection. The cave with the bombs. Mm-hmm. That's as far as I got with this, the same sort of place.
Okay.
And yeah,
so
it's just
not very far. Yeah.
Not very far at all. No. Because again, played the collection. Just repeating what I played. But going more in a, deep dive with this. So it was, yeah, it's really interesting, like the health mechanic. You've got like two, like hearts or diamonds or what they are on the screen.
Yeah.
So that was pretty weird. You can choose what character you want each level, which is cool. And I think this is where they brought the characters' special abilities, like Luigi's like really high jump, Peach's floaty jump, I think. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the game they brought those special powers in. But,
it is.
Oh, is it? So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, actually. To back up a little bit, this game was originally called Doki Doki Panic in Japan, and had different skin on it, at least for the characters. Like sort of Arab-looking characters, almost.
Oh, right.
And then for the West, they turned it into a Mario game, and so basically Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, like kind of, I mean, not so much Mario, but like the secondary characters kind of got their unique abilities from this game by being mapped onto other existing characters. So like, you know what I mean? Like Peach's float kind of comes from this other character. And Toad being fast and not having a big jump kind of comes from that too. And then Luigi's sort of extra high jump.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it at first. I thought, I think when I first played it last week, I just jumped like normal, and I was like, oh wait, no, they got the special moves. It's like Peach, I just kind of died straight away. Went down into the void. I was like, oh, okay, so they're like got their abilities, and you got to change and work it how their powers work, if that makes any sense. And the other thing I was going to get to was the like items as well. Like you can pick up things. I was just saying you can throw bombs at like rocks and turnips. I don't know what they do. There's like a potion you can get out of the ground or something. You throw it in, makes a door. Yeah,
and if you carry those potions far into the level, like you don't just use them right away, you can usually warp.
I did not know that.
So like, yeah, so they're always worth kind of picking up and carrying with you towards the end of the level. And the little sort of like vases or big sort of like that are kind of like pipes that you can go in. If you throw them close to those that are later in the level, you can usually warp ahead.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. See?
Yeah, so like even on that level you're talking about, the one with the bombs, I think, maybe even maybe that one, maybe the next one. If you carry a potion far ahead, you can warp to like World 4. Yeah.
And the other thing that threw me was the enemies. You jump on them, but they don't die.
Right.
You have to jump on them, but then press, I think it's Y on the controller, to pick them up, to throw them at another enemy or something, or just throw them away.
Right. Yeah, it's just this weird phenomenon because they took this other game and then just slapped Mario onto it. I mean, they actually made some changes, and then this game kind of became canon. Like all these really amazing, iconic Mario characters are from this game. Like Shy Guys and Sniffits and Pokies, Bob-ombs, and Birdo all come from this game. Even though they were originally not Mario characters. They are now, and Wart.
It's canon.
Wart, who kind of that kind of looks like Bowser, but is like more of like a frog, comes from this game, but he also like isn't used so much in later games. Anyway, I think it's a really great game. I love this game. I think it's really interesting the way that it, got transformed into a Mario game, like the history of it and the like sort of lasting effects of that. Like I just mentioned, all those characters and like the moves. I just find it's so different than a lot of Mario games. Like you're talking about the picking up of enemies and stuff and pulling up of turnips and all that. It's interesting to see like what enemies, like they moved to new games like Ninjas and stuff, but then occasionally what things they just left in this, you know what I mean? Yeah. Some of the weird bird enemies and stuff like that didn't ever really make the jump. So, but I really enjoy this game. I just in playing it this time around, I think I got to World 5 or 6, maybe actually 6 or 6, I don't even know, but because of the warps, it's like really once you know that, it's actually pretty easy to advance in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know how many worlds there are. I'd have to like look that up, but I think I got to around 5 or 6 just by warping.
Yeah, I didn't get very far. Again, but like last week, because I played like 4 Mario games in one. As I said on the last episode of the podcast, I did 10 minutes for each, or near enough each to each game. So it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
couldn't do too much anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know that there's a whole lot else to say. I think there's 7 worlds. It looks like I just looked it up, and I think I got to World 5. I just think it's a great game, and I don't know if I suggest playing this one. It doesn't look as good as the Super Nintendo version. It's kind of like if you're going to play on NSO, you might as well go play that one.
Yeah, go play those ones.
It's a little nicer. Yeah,
they're very nice.
Unless you want the original graphics for some reason of nostalgia or something, in which case you already know about this game. But it's just a unique Mario entry that gave a lot of things that are now iconic in Mario, but also like has weird mechanics, but it's enjoyable.
Completely different from a normal Mario game, really. Mm-hmm. So different.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say here. Anything else about the gameplay or anything you want to mention?
As I said, just completely different from a Mario game. As I said last week, Medium Mario, it's just not much else to say. But when I say Medium Mario, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, just medium. Because I don't want to say okay, because Mario's not just okay. It's better than okay.
Yeah. Well, I definitely recommend this game personally. Like, I think it's great. If you've never played it, it might take a little getting used to the mechanics, but at the same time, they're not that weird. Especially if you're familiar with the differences in the characters in the more modern, like 3D world and stuff, that'll feel a little bit natural here. But yeah.
Cool.
So that was our NES game. What about this SNES game, Tuff Enough?
Hey, punk, are you tough enough?
Yes.
That's I can just imagine a guy talking like that. Proper British person. Oh, punk, you're tough enough.
Tuff Enough is a Halico game from 1993. And yeah, I think this was just kind of, again, probably just copying the success of Street Fighter 2. It's just a Street Fighter 2 clone. Looks and plays a lot like it. But not as good.
No, me and Patrick literally just played it just a minute ago together, and it's weird. It's definitely like straight away when I played a little bit before me and Patrick played, I just did quarter circle punch, and it did like a Hadouken projectile attack straight away.
Yeah.
So that was funny, and then also like the attacks, like as soon as you land an attack on somebody, it freezes for like a second or something.
Yeah, definitely. It just feels slow and clunky, which is very similar to the other one of these Street Fighter clones, Doomsday Warrior, we played. It just doesn't feel fast and responsive compared to modern fighting games.
No, this is very slow. I want a fast fighting game.
Yeah. It's like I guess we should mention the story. It's like set in a post-apocalyptic future. It's the year 2151, and the leader of Earth is some fighter who builds some tower, and then whatever. I don't know. Of course, there's a tournament, and you only can pick from 4 players. I feel like maybe you can unlock the other ones later, but I'm not sure about that even.
Yeah, there is a single player, but none of us played it.
I played it enough. I played it like one match and was like, I'm done. From reading about the game, apparently like it has a little bit of an RPG like element where the special moves become more powerful throughout playing the story mode. But I don't know. It just isn't very fun.
Yeah, I did play single player. I played like versus. You can do like 3 modes. Was it story, 1 player versus 2 player, and training against CPU? I did just training and then played with Patrick. Yeah,
but they all are the same. It's just 1v1 fights. The story mode just has this trappings of a story, and then I guess apparently like your moves get stronger as you play. But I don't know. It just. The characters feel samey and like kind of like some of these other games we played that are just like clones of, just kind of feel like they're ripping off Ken and Ryu or Ryu and kind of Zangief and Chun-Li. Just like,
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely felt like Street Fighter 2 vibes with this game, especially. You got 2 characters that kind of look similar, got similar clothes on. They got similar attacks. They got like a Hadouken, like projectile, and then they've got like a uppercut move that sometimes I can do and sometimes I can't. You've got then like a Chun-Li looking character, but she's got like knives, is it? She's got knives? That's the only difference, but she feels very much fighting a Street Fighter 2 Chun-Li, like jumping around, especially when Patrick was playing himself. But you have to see that for yourself on my channel, because we're not telling you anything else.
Yeah, I think she fights with kunai, but they look like knives. That's kind of what kunai are, I guess, anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really, I played a handful of matches by myself, and then we played a handful of matches, and I felt like that was a handful more than I needed to play to have my verdict on this game.
To be fair, I did say, can we do at least one more match? And then we did one more match, and he said, well, we have to do some more now. So technically there must have been some sort of fun element in there.
Yeah, I think to credit, I think David with this idea, and I think we just experienced it. A lot of these old games are most fun played with people. And the NSO has this ability where you can play online with people. So like sometimes it's fun to play these not so great old games with people. And that,
right. Yeah.
Then because it's like we're both stuck with the same clunky bad fighter and just see who can actually win. That's not too bad. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, I think definitely that's a factor, is like, because you're talking to the other person like playing the game, so it's kind of more fun playing it by yourself than playing it by yourself.
But if you were like, hey, Patrick, do you want to play some Tuff Enough or do you want to play some Smash Ultimate? I would rather play Smash Ultimate.
He just had enough of it. Sorry. Can't help it.
It's a terrible name, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think this might have the worst name of any of the games we've played. And that includes Scat. Whatever that game was called, like, which is a bad name too. I don't have a lot to say on this one. Like, it just doesn't. The buttons are. I mean, you could spend time getting better at it, I'm sure, and then it might be a little more rewarding. But I just don't recommend it. Like, this is if you want to experience a bad Street Fighter clone, which why would you just go play Street Fighter or go play modern, like modern fighting games? Yeah,
Smash Bros.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of benefit to this. So
Smash Bros has technically got fighting game characters in, so you could pretty much play a fighting game. Well, actually, it's a party game, but you could technically, make it a fighting game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the game looks all right. I guess it's not like the music and the aesthetics of this game. They're fine, but they don't blow me away. It just feels like a Street Fighter clone that's not as good.
Yeah, it's just not as good. It's not fast. Every attack you land, it stops. It freezes. I actually thought it was the lag between us at first. I thought, oh, is it this laggy? Can we play it? And it's like, no, it's actually the attacks that you land on each other. It just stops. Why would you stop in the middle of a fight?
I don't know. Well, all that's to say, I don't recommend playing this game.
No, me either.
Well, I think that does it. So for me for the week, it's like, hey, I really recommend checking out Super Mario Brothers 2 if you've never played it, or even revisiting it. I think it's definitely fun. I played some just while watching a show on TV and handheld, and that was like a fun experience because it's not a game that demands your attention. But I would definitely not recommend Tuff Enough.
No.
If you're looking for to scratch a retro fighter itch, play Street Fighter 2. Or if you're looking for just a fighting game, why would you pick this? But if you've got to play it with a friend.
Yes.
All right, Ant. Well, anything else before we pick our games?
I just love one thing about Tuff Enough. And it's the level that is actually just called Wooden Floor.
Very creative name there.
That is just so funny for some reason. Of all the names, just Wooden Floor.
Wooden Floor.
And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, do you want to count down while we run the random number generator here?
Yep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play it wrong.
All right. Here's what we got for the NES. It's Ghosts and Goblins.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I know that one from the Sega Genesis because it was on the Genesis.
It's a bit tough. And then for the Super Nintendo, we have Kirby's Dream Course.
Okay.
I don't really know a lot about Kirby's Dream Course. I've definitely heard of it. And I've definitely, like you said, familiar with Ghosts and Goblins, played a little bit of it, but it's one of those like super challenging ones, so I'm not very much looking forward to it.
I don't want to spoil the ending, but isn't it if you complete it once, you don't get the ending, but then you have to play it again, but super hard or something?
Oh,
that's
my
what
gosh.
I heard.
Well, I'm not going to be doing that. I'll promise you this. I mean, the little bit of Ghosts and Goblins games I've played have been punishingly hard and not fun. Kind of like Demon's Crest is a Ghosts and Goblins spinoff, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Demon's Crest, yeah.
And no, don't like it. Too hard.
We have the power of save states, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to use it, I'm sure. This might dethrone the one. We'll see. I don't know what Kirby's Dream Course is. It's kind of like a sort of like golf like Kirby. You roll Kirby into things.
Kirby's golf?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not golf, but it's kind of like it. Like, you try to get Kirby to the hole. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll talk about it next week, I guess.
It's going to be good to go revisit Ghosts and Goblins, but the other side, the Nintendo side, because I said played it on Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember much of it, but I know it was hard, so it'd be interesting to go to the NES one.
Yeah, NES.
Side of it, so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back next time after we play some Ghosts and Goblins and Kirby's Dream Course. Thanks for listening to Playing It Wrong. This podcast is a collaboration between Super Switchheads and Ant Keeps Gaming. Check out the weekly Super Switchheads podcast, and also check out Ant Keeps Gaming on YouTube. Our music is provided by Bent Neatly. Thanks again. Bye.